watch this. Welcome back to Ghetto Youths. Welcome back to Ghetto Youths Can Be Better Youths. Ghetto Youths Can Be Better Youths. Men in the inner city, can they be successful? And that's the question we've been asking, and we have been having a resounding yes. And today we're gonna have our guest Lionel Richie Francis. Lionel Richie Francis is Lionel here with us. We want to welcome Lionel, and we're gonna be having a conversation. Courtney, I have a feeling this is gonna be a great time.
It is. And as you said, it was so nice. We have to do it twice. And they're here with us. And not only is Lionel Richard Francis here with us, but also Professor Kirk Lyons, who is a part of the Brothers Keeper International. And we just want to greet them both. And we want to find out from them some interesting questions and hear what the answers are to these questions. We have interesting questions and would love to hear what they have to say. Last week, we interviewed Emerson Benjamin, a young man who has been such a great standout amongst thousands who went and did an exam and he came out on top. He is a technician, an engineer. He used to be a bad man. Now he's a good man, a successful man, an example for many to follow, a good role model. And as such, we decided to also speak with someone else from his community, Mr. Lionel Francis, along with Brothers Keepers International founder and president, Professor Kirk Lyons, who is here with us and has been doing a tremendous job there in this community, as well as some of his soldiers. I would love to say boots on the ground, but he will tell us more about it when we speak with him.
Courtney, my understanding is that Professor might not be able to join us this afternoon, and so our apologies to our audience. He won't be able to join us this evening, but we look forward to having him another time. And I think something came up, so we have to link with him another time. So apologies to our listeners for that one. So I am excited about today's program. It's going to be one to remember. So man and man, we want to hear from you. Send your feedback or questions on Facebook, our Facebook page on Love 101 FM, where we are live. Yes, we are live on Facebook, our page Love 101 FM. Leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. Or give us a call on our studio line at 876-968-8327. Ladies, remember you get to participate in the program by leaving us a message via WhatsApp or comment on our Facebook page. Females, remember, no calls or voice note, but encourage the man them to call, encourage the man them to participate. We totally appreciate you. Sir Lionel is here. Welcome, welcome, Lionel.
Seem to be having some technical issues there, but I'm sure we'll be hearing from Lionel shortly. But indeed, Kevin, how was your weekend?
Give thanks. It was a great weekend. I had an opportunity to be in your environment as at Portmore Gospel Chapel, sharing on their Friendship Sunday. So I was speaking there. Great time. Big up to Michael Blake and the man them and Hulpa, ladies and men. So them listen to the mailbox and very good support there. So thank God for that. Great weekend. Give thanks. So what was yours, Courtney?
Well, most of my time was spent with my sister, who is hospitalized. I just want to say
Yeah.
thanks to the Love family for being in prayer, you, Kevin, and family. Theodore, Lisa, Anishka, Mary, my own family, Karen, Crystal, Candice, Camelia, CJ. Thanks to the Felltap Folkmore family as well. Charmaine Brown, Donna Gregory, Letitia Scott, Lady Freighter, April Freighter. So as persons come together and continue to join. Thanks to Nurse Bihari, there on staff at UWI Ward 3, and Nurse Burrell, Dr. Stephen Andrews have been doing a fantastic job in seeing to her becoming well and fully recovered. But most importantly, we give thanks to Dr. God for what he is doing and keeping her. So it has been a weekend that has been a little bit trying. Yeah.
Courtney,
Was
can
there
only
since
imagine.
morning.
Mm.
It's a little difficult and challenging, but we're expecting to see great and wonderful things happening soon.
Yes, we keep praying and trusting God. Total recovery, total healing. Our
Thanks so
prayers
much.
continue to be with you and the family, your sister Courtney.
I left out my
Um,
brothers.
yeah.
One flew down from New York. Owen, Dave, Gary,
Mm.
Mikey, Auntie Sheila. So many persons. I know I would get in trouble calling names. I'm old enough to be in trouble. I call some names. There you go. But everyone, you know, everyone, thanks for being there. Lady Colleen Beckles, our CEO, personally called. That was big. Lady Nadine Blair. Thank you all.
Mhm. Aye, life. Sir Courtney, we have to big up the man them. We have to yell up the man them still because you know how it go.
Yes.
This is the program where we challenge, we encourage, we empower our men to become all that they were created to become. We believe that all of our men can fulfill purpose. We believe all of us have a right to be here. We have value, we have worth, we have talents, abilities, giftings, and we can make a difference to show the glory of God on planet Earth. So I'll say after three, yeah,
Definitely.
1, 2, 3.
Money!
Yeah, man in the place. And I think we're gonna look at our favorite folder and talk of some things while we try and connect again with our brother Lionel, just working through some technical difficulties. So we know our discussion, of course, Get a Youth Can Be Better Youths. And inside our favorite folder, of course, this is where there are no wrong answers or right answers in this segment. We just want a perspective. And our listeners, feel free. We want to hear your perspective. Well, we're looking at should inner city men seek opportunities for growth? Should inner city men seek opportunities for growth? Courtney, what do you say? Should they be looking for opportunities, looking for ways that they can become better, for them to grow, for them to increase their intelligence, their financial wealth, their spiritual wealth, their social, interpersonal wealth? What do you think?
There are two sides to it, Kev. Yes, I believe they should.
Yes.
The unfortunate reality, especially here in Jamaica, is that sometimes your address gives restrictions, or restrictions are placed on your being hired or even seeking success outside of the community. There's a song that says, them to live up on Norbrook or of a waterworks or any of those higher class place. So if their address says something like from the west or the east in downtown, then that address will not allow room for them to even be considered. And so while it is true that they should seek, and it is necessary most often to seek outside of the community to do what they can do in terms of getting better opportunities, many restrictions are placed on these young men, the ghetto youths, the inner city youths, the depressed communities, to get a job outside because them come from a community that is considered not good, and so they are sometimes stigmatized as only criminals and thieves and gangsters come from those communities, and so they are restricted. And on the other hand, they can build their own success in their own communities, such as we have heard of Emerson Benjamin, but outside training came in nonetheless. In terms of seeking to be self-sustained, which is a part of what Professor Lyons would have been talking about today, trying to build a fowl cubs and pig pens so that they can raise their own produce, and not produce, but you know, livestock, and indeed grow some produce as well, and seeking to, in their own community, act as mentors. And success is achieved through those methods as well.
Definitely, Courtney. We totally agree that there are a multiplicity of challenges and obstacles that the inner city youths face that are not faced by others in certain socio economic position, and to think of the violence which they have to deal with, trying to have some emotional stability. Think of the fact that there are almost non-existent opportunities that are in the area. Think of the unhealthy sanitary conditions that they have to endure. Just a simple thing like clean running water or a flushing toilet or enough space. Think of 18 person in a 2-bedroom. It is, and this is very common. So just inhumane condition that they have to face, and the mental and emotional stressors that on a daily thing that they have to go through, and the fact that they are surrounded by maybe many people who are pessimistic, because this is our lot, and we won't live past certain age. We're just gonna die young. That's the expectation. So how do you overcome all of these obstacles? That's why we really rate them and feel encouraged when we see men like Lionel and Emerson and so many youths, who decide that they are going to seek better and become more resourceful. So I think we have Lionel. Lionel, are you there?
Probably better if we said Tommy. Tommy, are you there? Because that's the name he's known by in his community. Probably can't even recognize Lionel. Good afternoon, sir. Still seem to be having technical difficulties. What we do, we go for break, and right after the break, there is Tommy. We're going to go for the break nonetheless. Tommy, say hi. How are you, sir? So we're going to go for a break and hope these technical difficulties are sorted out, and we come right back. You're listening to the mailbox. Better youths can be better youths. Men in the inner city, can they be successful? And so we're going to come right back after these breaks. You're listening to the mailbox. 30 years of love 101, family, foundation, music, giving the wind a mighty voice. Soon come back.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man, hey man. I am a man, I am a man.
Kingston Healing Crusade. Kingston Healing Crusade. Cloven Tongues of Fire Ministry, in association with Behold the Lord Cometh Assemble, invites you to our Kingston Healing Crusade on April 17 to 23rd, 2023 at the Elliston Primary and Infant School off Renward Road. Time 5 p.m. daily. Please bring the sick people to Jesus the healer, the blind, the deaf, the dumb, paralyzed, barren, and poor. Jesus will heal them all. Jesus is Lord.
Educome does it again with the mega car loan sale. 100% financing, interest rate of 6.95% and up to 10 years to repay. Hurry now and visit any of our 9 branches. Call Educome at 876-926-6973 or WhatsApp 876-559-7575 for more info. Educome Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Value through service.
Jamaica Central Bank digital currency is now here. Jamdex, no cash, no problem. Step into a future of ease, convenience, and security. Conduct business with your mobile device.
instantly and without fees. This is how life should be with Jamdex. You catch it free. Jamdex are the real free. Use it to buy a stove or TV. You can buy your shoes or 3 Ps. Get the central bank digital currency. No cash, no problem. Jamdex, backed by the Bank of Jamaica.
When you say Fosrich, you say electrical, SWA cables, conduits, transformers, and breakers. When you say Fosrich, you say lighting, chandeliers, and more. When you say Fosrich, you say LEDs and solar water heaters. Fosrich is electrical, lighting, solar, and LEDs. Visit us today, Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. Fosrich.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man, yes. Strong
man.
Come back to the mailbox. You're listening live to 101, the family station, 30 years in this nation and still number one as gospel station. I'm on with my co-host Kevin Bailey. I'm Courtney Morrison. And today we're talking about ghetto youths can be better youths. And indeed, inner city men and their success. Men in the inner city, can they be successful? And so we are having answers to that. Remember, you can get to participate by leaving your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. Or give us a call on our studio line at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. Also, remember, the phone lines are open right throughout the program, and we're live on Facebook and YouTube. Kev.
Yep. So it's time to get to the main discussion of our program with our guest. Yes, we look at ghetto youths can be better youths. Men in the inner city, can they be successful? And we have with us, I believe, we've sorted out some stuff. We have our brother Lionel Richie Francis. Welcome, Sir Lionel.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, good evening. Great to have you. And Courtney's telling me that you can only recognize the name Tommy.
Yeah, everyone knows me as Tommy, but my rightful name is Lionel Richie Francis, as you said.
Wow, so you can sing Lionel Richie. Are you the singer too?
No, not really. I used to at some point, but I haven't done anything like that in years.
See what you mean. So it's so great to have you, and we have to ask you right at the start, what is life like as an inner city man? Can you share with our listeners, what is life like as an inner city man, Lionel?
It's rough. The truth is, it's rough. Where I'm from, at some point in time, when I went to a meeting, my community is called Majestic Gardens. They were in the top 4 most volatile communities in Jamaica. So you must know that that's a very big position to be for such a small community. But out there, it's rough. The stigma on the community down here is be a creature come from down there. Like one of the worst places. People have that kind of mentality about the community.
Sir Lionel Richie, Courtney Morrison here. We were supposed to have Professor Lands with us today. Such a pity I'd have invited Jason Downer instead, so that indeed all of us could be on, because you know Jason is noted as your brother. You guys look alike. Yeah. But tell us a bit about your own transformation in the community from bad man to God man, and what's happening, and how did that influence you in becoming successful?
Well, at a young age, my parents always sent me to Sunday school. After I reached in the later grades of primary school into high school, I didn't go to church much, and started hanging out with guys having temper problems, get in arguments, fight, other things which I don't really want to say over the year like this. But the walk has been rough. A lot of smoking, drinking, all the things that I can think of that we face as inner city young men. That at the age of 17, I was introduced to Christianity. I met Jesus Christ at that age. Pastor Chang, one of the pastors in the community here, actually gave me some words of encouragement, and I went to a crusade with them, and I gave my life to the Lord. It changed my perspective on life and how to deal with other individuals in the community. Love your neighbors, you love yourself, and stuff like that. The principles that I learned from the Bible, going to Bible study at CLF, at Covenant Community Church, Restoration Family Church, a number of churches, Fellowship Tabernacle. Those principles that I've learned from men who were leaders, who are around us, it stuck with me. So it caused me to start to look at life in a different way. So instead of having anger towards my brothers, I started to have more of a concern of, what is happening in the community because of the violence and persons dying and stuff. So it caused me to look at things in a different way, to say I was trying to get people, away from the negative, just as though I changed my, by the help of God, transform my life. I started doing positive things,
So what I'm hearing
a lot. So I'm trying to assist other young men now as well to try to take that journey to brush out the negative vibes and try to live as positive and good citizens.
Lionel, what you're saying is so powerful that I really want our audience to understand something. You were going on a wrong path, wrong place, and you met Jesus Christ, and that gave you a different pathway. It actually changed the course of your life. Talk to us a little bit about that, because some people think that this thing is not real. You mean you accepted Jesus, and by you following certain principles, the scripture, the community, it changed your path and your direction? Talk to us a little bit. Is that real?
Yeah, yes, it is real, because as a young man, when I used to smoke a lot. I used to premeditate a lot of evil things, because when somebody do you something wrong, you want to get revenge or to do stupid things. So one of the persons who helped me along that path with anger was a person by the name of Carl Cargill. He used to challenge me in regards to my anger, because I used to want to fight and do people things. So even that in itself there, by knowing what Christ is doing and forgiving others as I would want Christ to forgive me, things that I have to be looking into to try to live better with the persons in the community. So if it wasn't for Christianity, knowing good men of God who stood up for the principles of Christianity, then I would have probably been dead already. I have gone to jail. Even same Emerson that you guys mentioned, I was one of the persons influencing him to take up a different path as well, because I introduced him to the school. Went to school with them as well at some point, learning the AC thing, and so that's what I look at now. I don't want my life to just be like the norm and be like the other persons in the community that do a lot of violence and stuff. I want to help them to step away from that, realizing that there's better to life more than just living in that kind of mindset.
Wow. Tremendous.
Hey, we're listening. You hear the voice of Lionel Richie, not of the Commodores, but Lionel Richie Francis from the Majestic Gardens community down there near 3 miles near Portia Simpson Miller Square. He has been telling us a bit about his transformation from bad man to God man. When we come back after the break, we want to talk a bit to him about family life and what he's doing in the community. Hey, Kevin, what are
Yeah.
some of the things
Yep.
that you are doing in the community? Because we know you're currently even on the job and you're still speaking with us. What are some of the impacts that you have seen? You have mentioned Emerson and what he does, but we want to hear
Don't miss Youth Sounds every Wednesday.
as to what you do. And are you married? Is there a family? We want to hear a bit about those things when we we get deep. As a matter of fact, let's touch some of them before we go. We give. Are you married?
Yes, I am. I've been married from 2011, and I have one 6-year-old daughter.
Wonderful. So we want to say big ups to Mrs. Francis and child. You must be listening. We hope if you're not listening, you'll at least catch the replay by YouTube. So we're gonna go to a break, and we're going to come right back after this with Lionel Richie Francis. It is inner city youths can be better youths. Men and their success in inner communities. That's what we're talking about today. We did it last week and it was so good we had to do it twice. So we come right back after this break, right here on the mailbox.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, I am a man.
Expo Jamaica 2023. We're connecting the world to Jamaica. Support all things Jamaica. Over 350 exhibits on display. CB Food Court, Farmers Market, Gems Village, True Shake Kids Zone. 3 exciting days, 2 arenas. Friday to Sunday, April 28 to 30. National Indoor Sports Center to the National Arena. Produced by JMEA. Powered by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Partners, Jampro, JPS, Scotiabank, NCB, Access Financial Services, and CB Foods. Facebook and IG for details.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
When you say phosphorus, you say electrical. SWA cables, conduits, transformers, and breakers. When you say phosphorus, you say lighting, chandeliers, and more. When you say phosphorus, you say LEDs and solar water heaters. Phosphorus is electrical, lighting, solar, and LEDs. Visit us today, Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. Phosphorus.
Are you ready for another exciting showing Saturday Live 1 to 5 this Throwback Thursday, April 20? Well, join me, your host, Sarah, and the Chirpy One for another time to recollect and reconnect. Stay tuned for the brain testing mental science at 1:45. Then for prayer blast at 2 o'clock as we ring in the prayer bells of heaven. 2:15 inside Pieces of the Past. We continue to look at superstitions in Jamaica Part 2. Then at 3 p.m., we bring you Proverbially Speaking. All this and more will come alive 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. this Throwback Thursday, April 20 on the Family Station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity.
Welcome back to the mailbox here every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. on Love 101 FM, your family station. So we have been having a stimulating conversation, learning new insights with our brother Lionel Richie Francis, man from the inner city, sharing his personal experience before we went on a break. I think Courtney was asking you, Lionel, are you married? Do you get the support of family and friends on your journey to where you are? I'm not sure if you were finished. We want to allow you to finish up. Is it important to have support of family and friends? And how has that been going on for you, Lionel?
Yeah, support from family and friends and other persons is very important because when I used to have friends that I used to hang out with that used to be involved in some wrongs and stuff. But I'm saying that you should separate yourself 100% from them because you still would have to talk to them to reach them if you want them to take the part that you're on as well. I remember my mother and my father being behind me in even when I started going to church and stuff, encouraging me. I didn't meet my wife until years after, but she's been here with me during all the process and stuff, learning together, growing together and stuff. Other groups like Operation Save Jamaica, Fusion International, and the church family overall, just being around people who are like-minded, helped me a lot to become who I am today.
Wow, very, very, very interesting. So tell us what keeps you going right now? As a young man with family and all of the responsibilities, really trying to make something of yourself. What is it that keeps you? What is it that you're passionate about? What is it that drives your purpose? What you want to accomplish, Lionel?
The desire to see change. I know a lot of persons struggling in a city. Some persons are okay because they do a little hustle and stuff. But when you look at the unemployment in the community, you look at persons who are uneducated from a young age. Young ladies who are pregnant from a young age who don't get to go back to school. Living in a society, in an era like this would cause you to feel depressed and down. So if I intend to live here, I would have to try to see how I can help to change the environment by helping the persons who live here to become better individuals. And then I know that the community would be a better place to live in if the person's lifestyle change. So the main driving force behind it is because I see what Christ did in my life, and it caused me to be a better person where I am now. So I want that to be the same thing that happens in other persons' lives as well, because by doing so, as I said, the community will become a place where everyone can live comfortably and survive.
You just heard the voice of Lionel Richie Francis. Yes, Lionel Richie Francis from Majestic Gardens. Lionel, what I find interesting about what you're saying is that there are so many who, after seeking success and finding it, tend to migrate from the community. But you have decided to live there and work there and have an impact there. Tell us a bit more about what you do in the community, the name, the jobs that you're involved in. Tell us about some of the projects that are happening. I know Professor Lyons would have been here today to talk about Brothers Keepers International and the raising of livestock and, poultry, pig farm, they wanting to have a farm itself for a self-reliant community. And also tell us about, there were some homes that were burnt out and how you are helping in that area to get them back, persons back, those 8 families back on their feet. Tell us a bit about what you do.
Okay, all right. In 2015, from before that, in 2010, I got involved with the community development committee in the community, helping out, doing some social work, trying to help persons in the community. And while being around them, I decided to start my own club in the community, non-government organization. It started out as Majestic Garden Sports Correlation, where we just did a football competition. It's a five-a-side on the basketball court that would normally run from Mondays to Thursdays, which we had over 20 teams in the first year. And that happened in 2016. But then I thought about it and said that I just don't want to do sports because there's so many other needs that exist. So after a while, we changed the name to Positive Impact. And then I started adding elderly care program where we gave out care packages to old people. We started renovating homes. There's a guy called Delroy Wilson that worked closely with me with getting the names of the persons, finding out what type of illnesses they have, and see how best we could assist them with food stuff during the COVID period. There was the fact that there was no internet in the community. Well, internet was here, but not widespread. So for years before the whole COVID thing, I was planning to do wireless internet in the community. But with the help of Operation Save Jamaica, actually started out where I started and I opened a computer company where I provide internet to some of the homes in the community so that the kids could do online school. Started building a boat because the community was a fishing village from when I was younger. Some of that has changed, but I'm just still building a boat so I can create employment through that. We do educational stuff, which, as I said, that Emerson Benjamin would have been one of the persons who was helped through that. Plus other persons, but he's a more success story from the entire thing. With partnering with Heart Trust NT as well, trying to set up some training centers in the community, trying to learn HVAC, photovoltaic, which is solar panel installation, and trying to learn basic electrical installation. There are a lot more things in the pipeline, but as I said, they are on paper now, so they haven't started as yet. But even regarding farming, we're actually looking at space to do farming down here because there's a lot of empty space. We assisted, Brothers Keeper came in and assisted us in creating a chicken farm where we have broilers and layers. Some of the guys from the community benefiting from that. We're in the process of trying to create an agriculture society where we have all the persons who do farming can be a part of that and get as much assistance as possible. So there are a lot of things rolling through the pipeline now that we're trying to put in place to get the community in a better standing. Persons were burnt out from December the 25th. Brothers Keeper came in and I said we walked through the community, look at the homes, spoke to the persons who got burnt out, and then they came back in March and tried to get some foundation dig for the persons. Material is there, steel, cement, gravel, and sand is there. We're trying to get those homes started going up again so that persons can go back into a better living standard and where they are now have to be staying in their families' homes and stuff like that. I said there's a lot of things taking place, but as I said, we're just structuring things and trying to see how best we can help in the community.
Wow.
Whoa, you hear how much things he just spoke of?
Yes.
And he says there's still a lot in the pipeline. Just want to make mention of Jason Downer. He's actually Reverend Jason Downer, president of Magava, because they're the ones who actually bring Brothers Keeper International along with Professor Kirklands in to help down there. Pastor Bruce Fletcher as well, doing a magnificent job through Operation Save Jamaica in the community as well. They had a large prayer breakfast recently. And so those are some of the supporting bodies that actually endorses what Lionel Richie is doing. I'm deliberately leaving off the Francis. So he's singing well, he's singing very well. Lionel, we're very extremely pleased and blessed to know someone like you and to hear all that you are doing in the community. I know Jason Downer was appointed co-president of the Brothers Keeper International Jamaica chapter. And so he's helping out down there. It's just a fascinating job.
And
we still want to hear a little bit more. Yes, sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
No, I was just saying, with so many things that you're doing, Lionel, in an environment that can be very challenging, and how do you overcome discouragement when you are faced with so many challenges, for you to still be this positive, for you to be engaged in productive endeavors? Because there are many other youths like yourself going a different pathway. How do you overcome the challenges, the discouragement when you get up? What is it that helps you to do that, Lionel? Share with us.
Well, as I said, support from persons, because funny enough, Jason Downer person say both of us resemble. So when they see me, they come and say, if he's my big brother, let us accept it. I say, yeah, man. But it doesn't matter. He's my big brother in Christ. But persons like Pastor Bruce, as Mr. Morrison made reference to, you know, I speak to them, you know, Jason and stuff. But the main thing that helps me to not be discouraged based on the surroundings is just that peace I find in Christ. Knowing that whatever I'm doing is not pointless, is actually very important to the kingdom of God. You know, like I say, it's just basically what I've learned in Christianity for years. You know, do not worry about tomorrow, things like that, because there's a lot of things I can worry about. Because my mother isn't well, she has a mental problem, dementia, and she is actually having some problems now. So all of that is there as well. But as I say, just try to just find peace. It's my peace I leave with you. You know, so I have to just rely on the peace that God offers to me during this time, you know. And just to see the results, because that's one of the things when I can see person smiling after helping them and stuff, and persons can call on me and I can offer assistance. That's the driving force behind it, being helpful to others, because, you know, I don't know, that's something that I developed while going to church and stuff. You know, always trying to be helpful to persons, always trying to be kind, always trying to give as much as possible. Go home tired. Sometimes I would be out of stuff even at my house, get 50 care packages and I give all of them away just to make sure that persons are okay. You know, just trying to be selfless as much as possible. And then I see God turning around and blessing me as well. So, you know, I just have to just use those things as what encouraged me to continue going, because knowing that God is there at the end of the day to uphold me. You know, that's it.
Fantastic. We open another break and we come right back in our final segment here on the mailbox. We're talking to Lionel Richard Francis of the Majestic Gardens community. Inner city youths can be better youths. Men from the inner city who have shown success and have done well. We'll come right back after these messages. You're listening to the mailbox on Love 101 FM.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man.
Ruth Shireen Ministries presents the album launch Judah's War Cry, a night of warfare worship featuring Ruth Shireen, John Mark Wigan, Prince Saj, Travell Clark Wine, Treg Taylor, Audia Spencer Brown, and Tehillah Ministries. Saturday, April 29, 5:30 p.m. Jamaica Youth for Christ, 2 Acacia Avenue, 2,500 pre-sold, 3,000 at the gate. Sponsored by Wise Construction Limited, Caribbean Gospel TV, and Miracle of the Potter's Hand International. Ruth Shireen, album launch Judah's War Cry. Don't miss it.
Jamaica, let us arrive alive. We know everyone has somewhere to be or someone to see. Whether you're going on a trip, headed to a party, running errands, getting gifts, or visiting family and friends. Arrive alive. Slow down. There's no rush. Look out for yourself and others. Don't let your life be a statistic. Too many Jamaicans are dying on our roads. So take time on the road. Arrive alive.
A message from the Office of the Prime Minister.
When you say phosphorus, you say electrical. SWA cables, conduits, transformers, and breakers. When you say phosphorus, you say lighting, chandeliers, and more. When you say phosphorus, you say LEDs and solar water heaters. Phosphorus is electrical, lighting, solar, and LEDs. Visit us today, Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. Phosphorus.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man, I am
a man. How many of you know that song is done by Kevin Bailey himself right here as the co-host? I am a man. Many years ago when his head had hair on it and his chin had hair as well. Kevin is just a great individual. Days of Youth for Christ, dub poetry, which received such resistance, but yes, thank God. Right. You're listening to the Mailbox here in Love 101, the family station. I'm Courtney Morrison. Mailbox, which has been on with you for 11 consecutive years without a break unless it's a public holiday. And so, indeed, the only male-hosted show, talk show of this type that exists anywhere in the Caribbean, I can truly attest and say it is so. Listeners, remember, you get to participate by leaving your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-968. WhatsApp line is 876-997-3125. Let me say that again. WhatsApp line 876-997-3125, or call our studio lines. You still have some time to talk with Lionel, Tommy, Francis. 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. Also, remember the phone lines are open, and they have been for the beginning of the program. I want you to say something. I want Colleen to say something encouraging to Lionel now. It's good to hear when men rise above the challenges and impacting a community, their own family, but a community at large. It is a great job. Not true, Kev?
It is so true, Courtney. You're so kind. We want to hear a little bit more from Lionel, especially Lionel, your perspective. What is it that men can do to stop the crime and the violence? Because I mean, you are right in the middle of it, and sometimes people on the outside say, "Them guys just lazy. Them just want to give you trouble. All of them supposed to just get rid of." But from your perspective, what is it that you believe? Some things that we can do, those of us who are not living in the inner city, those who are in the inner city, what can we do to stem this tide of crime and violence that we're not proud of, Lionel?
Well, that's a very big question, It's not as straightforward as I, based on my experience, what I've seen here. Mm-hmm. Because there are some guys that would want to change, and some guys that are far gone into the whole culture of violence that is hard to get them. But what I realize is that a lot of them, as I said, drop out of school. They want to find a means to survive. If there's a stigma in the community trying to go and look at job, it's not that easy to get a job because person will look at you and say, boy, where you come from is where a thief come from down there. So they don't want to have you in the workplace. So a guy have to find a way how he can survive. So they'll try to find ways of stealing things, doing other stuff like that. But I say one of the ways I was looking into was trying to get as much of them having a skill. So if we can reintroduce them to education, even though they're old, try at least to get them to find out what their concerns are as well. Stop and listen to them, because sometimes they are men who are hurting because of past things that happened with violence regarding their older family members. They are carrying that bitterness inside them, So there's nobody to talk to them to find out what is happening in their minds and stuff to see how best they can counsel, and offer some level of discipleship to try to change them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look into it, that's what I'm seeing. Some of the guys hurt for different reasons. The father was killed by past gang violence, the uncle, the brother, the sister. So they're trying to take revenge in regards to that. While some persons do it to survive, as I said, stealing and stuff like that. So we'd have to find ways to stem that by offering grief counseling, and offering opportunities where education is concerned, and a good way to earn, because these guys need money every day, and if they wake up and don't have money, then that will pose an issue, because they can't survive without having funds to buy stuff to eat and things like that. So education, grief counseling, and exposure, because some persons really, because of violence, they don't leave the community. They would be in the community for most of their lives, don't go anywhere, learn anything new, so things like that. Exposure, education, employment, we look into things like that and see how best we can create the opportunities for these young men. That's my viewpoint on the matter.
Mm.
Excellent. Tommy, your view on forgiveness and helping to curb the violence. You spoke on persons just wanting to take revenge, and we want to share that in a couple of minutes, and then we have some WhatsApp messages and a voice note to take. Forgiveness in terms of helping with violence. I know you're a forgiveness buff guy. Talk to us.
Regarding, I say it's because I say people hurt, so I figure more or less that if we have persons who are trained counselors, but I know they have to be paid as well, be able to come and speak to some of the men regarding what they face on a day-to-day basis. Because we kept a prayer breakfast in January where we had 50 men from the community that came out, and one of the things that they were asking for was actually counseling, because there were things that affected them which they didn't deal with, and then they end up having some bad behaviors because of what happened to them. So I would basically ask for persons who are able to counsel persons, and we can bring them to counseling sessions to speak to those who want the counseling. So that's one way I think we can work at.
Yes. Hey, Kev, we probably need to bring Family Life Ministries down into Majestic Gardens and see what they can do to help in that situation. It would be a great partnership with Operation Save Jamaica, Mogaba, and Brothers Keeper International.
Totally. I believe we can do that collaboration. We'll have the conversation.
Yes. Let's take the WhatsApp messages and the voice message. Good evening, men, on the mailbox. Love to hear you. Love when man stand up like man. We love you all. That sounds like a woman, don't it? Yes, it's Paulette from St. Anne. It is a lady. We love you too. We love you too, Lady Paulette. Let's take also the voice message.
She also has a voice message.
I want to say to Mr. Lionel, keep on doing what you're doing, my child. And I know that God will repay you. Even though you are going through your tough times, God will see you through. And keep reminding people that good can come out of Nazareth. God can change anything, anybody. So keep on doing what you're doing for the Lord. God bless you all.
Bless you, Lady Paulette. Thanks for sharing. Encouraging words, Kevin. Encouraging words. Sharon Miller said, good evening, woman there too. Glad to have you, woman, with us. Without question.
Yes.
Without question.
And
Faith says, good evening, everyone. Great program as usual.
Blessings for everyone. Pearl, Newman, these men can be better men if they acknowledge their God-given purpose. Thank you so much for that. And here we are encouraging men and challenging, encouraging, empowering them to find their purpose as well. Lionel, what would you say, a minute or so, to men, both in the inner city and out of that city? What would you say to the men that you would like to see us doing? Give us a last charge there, Lionel.
What would you want then? What would you want? Could you repeat the question? Let me hear it clearly.
Yes. What would you like to see the men in Jamaica doing? Both those who are in the inner city and those who are outside of that city. Give us a word that you believe we can do to move towards a better place, so we do fulfill purpose. So speak a little to our men.
All right. One of the first thing is love your neighbor as you love yourself. Because one thing I realize while I'm out on the road is there are a lot of persons who are just carrying around a lot of problems and baggages as men. So sometimes I'm out on the road and I see guys who, I don't know, there's this vibe sometimes where guys are angry at each other or something. Make room for your brother if you're out on the road. So if somebody makes a mistake, if driving, walking, saying something to you, don't just act out because you are having problems because other persons have problems as well. So just try to be kind to each other. Try to be helpful as much as possible. Because I remember I bad drive somebody one time and the person was cussing me, and I just didn't respond to him. While we were driving, I just drive up right beside him and I say, boy, sorry about that, my boss. I never intend to do that. And the guy that was cussing with so much rage and stuff, he just calmed right down and said, boy, thank you for that, my boss, because I'm really angry at me that, because of what you do and stuff, So, just apply some of these calm principles out there. Look out for the kids, look out for the elderly, look out for the women on the street, look out for your own brother. There are persons out there that need help, need somebody to talk to. Just be kind and loving, So I think that is kind of missing now because of the whole culture of violence that we hear in even the music. God had said it, music is the rod and we are Moses. Leading God's people to the promised land, but with the content in the music that we're listening is just glorifying violence and stuff, then we're going to be violent people because as a man thinketh in his heart is he. So if we listen to these things every day and give in to them, they become a mindset. They just create a stronghold in our minds and we live like that. So, try to think positive, think on positive things. And that will deter you from
we have to leave it there, Tommy.
Things that are manifested on a day-to-day basis with how you react to people. That's just one viewpoint from me still.
Good place to end there.
Thank you for that. A positive impact that you want. We ran out of time here as usual, just as Tommy was getting into the groove of telling us what men need to hear. But we want to tell him thanks for being here with us. Thanks to our producer Trishan Brian, technical support in studio Timoy Butler, special guest again Sir Lionel Richie Francis. For information on how to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9597 or download the podcast via our mobile app.
Listen again next week for another Mailbox, the program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by men. We end the show with this quote: growth inside fuels growth outside. John C. Maxwell. I'm Kevin Bailey.
And I'm Courtney Morrison. Next week, Monday. Catch up with you.
Yes. Strong man. Integrity man. I am a man. Man. I am a man. Yes. Strong man. Integrity man. I am a man. Hey man.
Thank you for listening to the Mailbox. Stay with us.